welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, get ready for this one because it's about to get real and raw and a little bit TMI. It is what dating in San Francisco has taught me. And let me tell you, I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time now, and I'm so excited that I'm finally sitting down and I'm making this video. I just got a lot to say. I'm gonna break this video down in like 3 different groups. So the first thing is just talking about like, what do I already know about dating in San Francisco? Like, what have I learned? I'm gonna give you a small breakdown of a couple of guys that I've gone on dates with, and then what did I learn from that date, and what did it teach me about dating and men in general, and also seeing the pattern and how it's gradually kind of steadily improving my dating life. Yet despite that, it absolutely sucks to date here. And oh, before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel as I post new videos on Mondays and Fridays for the month of July. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. So with further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. We gotta talk about when it comes to dating in San Francisco is that people are absolutely married to their job. Why is that? Okay, so many people come here to start their career, whether they're working at a startup or they're in tech, and usually that is almost a good portion of the single guys here in this city. Why are they married to their jobs? Well, they want to make lots and lots and lots of money because, well, it is very, 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 very expensive to live here. Rent sucks in San Francisco. I feel like almost every single person knows that rent sucks. And they just care so much about their jobs. It is a huge priority for them. They want to make their jobs and their positions in their company super perfect, so it's the best that it can possibly be. Basically, work comes before love, and that's the unfortunate truth. So that's just something that I've learned and I've noticed with guys is that they want to work hard. There's nothing wrong with that, but it seems like a lot of these people lack time and management skills, if I do say so myself. This brings me on to number 2. Distance in the Bay Area matters. So what I mean by that is San Francisco, while it's a small city, it can take a really long time to get across the city. Like if you're taking the bus, the BART, whatever. Now that Ubers and Lyfts are more common these days and they're not that expensive here, that's not as big of a deal anymore. But let's say you're in San Francisco and the guy you meet is in Oakland. That distance could be a problem because that can be far for some people, and people just want to be lazy and not travel that often to go see their partner and do whatever they're gonna do when they meet up. I live in a neighborhood on the other side of the city, and if I wanted to date someone like, I don't know, let's say North Beach, that's all the way on the other side of the city, and it is far for me. Especially if I wanted to take public transportation, it's gonna take me like an hour, and that's exhausting, and I would have to take an Uber, and if I wanted to do an Uber pool, well, that could take me just as long as a bus ride would because it's gonna pick up people along the way. An Uber X is just pricier, and I just don't want to deal with an Uber X. Sometimes that can be a deal breaker. I don't say that as a deal breaker, really. I mean, I prefer to date someone within a city, and I don't care if I have to travel to you. It is what it is. Like, that's just life. You're not gonna live near the person that you're gonna start dating. Like, that's just reality. I mean, if they live near you, cool, that's great, but I'm more open-minded about that one. So number 3, flaker's gonna flake, 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 flake. Anyway, yeah, seriously, like men are so, or not just men, people here are so freaking flaky. Oh my God. Ghosting is a huge problem here, and I don't know what it is about the behaviors of both men and women who ghost. I know when I go on a new date with a guy, I say like, hey, if you're not feeling this, just be courteous and just let me know. And what's funny is that because I've requested that, they've been respectful about it and they let me know, and I appreciate that. I'd rather you just say like, hey, it's not working out for me. Cool, great, thanks for letting me know. You're not a dick. So one thing that's really frustrating about San Francisco is that dating apps take over the world. We're talking Tinder, Hinge, The League, Bumble, you name it. If you're single, you're probably on some sort of dating app. I'm on 2. Everyone is so glued to their phone here, and a lot of dating apps are based out of here. Well, I know the league is, I'm not sure about the others. People are so attached to it and they don't know how to put their phones down. And when people don't put their phones down, it makes it so much harder to actually meet someone organically. It's so hard. Everyone's so glued to their phones and it's so frustrating. If you're lucky enough where you have a friend and you meet a guy through a friend, then that's great. Good for you. I mean, work can be a really good place to meet someone too, but you gotta be, you know, very cautious if it doesn't work out and then you see them and then it's awkward. It can be possible to meet someone organically here. I think it's just very, very hard, and you really have to like put yourself out there and join like organizations or go to these meetup groups, and that might be a better way and better your chances of meeting someone organically. But until now, it's really all about the dating apps, unfortunately. For 5, one thing that I've noticed about just like dating in San Francisco in general is that most of these first dates is literally like, hey, let's go grab a drink. Do you want to get a drink? Drink, 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 drink. Your first date will probably involve going out to get a drink. And I mean, there is nothing wrong with that. It's just that it's just getting so overdone. Take me out to dinner. I mean, if you're lucky enough, your second date probably will be dinner, and that's great. But if you're lucky enough to make it past a second or third date, then just know that most of your dates are gonna involve alcohol. That's just how it is. And until someone who really sees a lot of value in you, those dates will get better and they will not just involve alcohol. I've just kind of given you a quick glimpse of like what that's like. I want to talk about my experiences, and I promise I'm going to be very, very brief. And then I'm going to tell you what did I learn from that date and what did it teach me about men. And we'll just go on from there. The first guy that I ever went out with, I saw him a total of 3 times. Problem that was like a big red flag, and this is just something that, again, that I've noticed and what it's taught me is that he was really clingy and kept like saying, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so cute. Like he just kept spitting out all these compliments, and I'm like, dude, chill out. Say, TMI guys. Things did get physical here, and he was really immature about the situation. Let's just put it that way. I will spare you the gory, gross details, but he was very immature about an incident that occurred after, and he pretty much ghosted me after that. What did I learn from this? If a guy is going to be immature about something that happens after you have sex with him, run. If a guy over compliments you too much, it's kind of clear that he's probably just more into your body, and for his sexual needs, run. Unless if you want that too, then maybe that's okay. Like if you're not taking a relationship and you just want what he wants, by all means, no big deal, go for it. Let's talk about guy number 2. Oh my god, I cannot tell you how much I did not like this date and how it was the biggest disappointment I had ever gone on. We actually went out for coffee, which was nice. I liked that we didn't go out for alcoholic beverages. We went out for coffee. The problem with this date is that I didn't really get a lot out of this guy's personality. I thought it was quite boring, and it felt like a forced interview. Like it was literally just questions back and forth, us interviewing each other, and that's not how I want my date to be. I want my date to feel natural and somewhat safe. I literally didn't like that, like how it literally felt like a job interview. The thing is that he didn't even pay for my coffee. The place was not even that expensive, so the fact that he didn't even offer to pay for my coffee, shows me that chivalry's kind of dead. What I learned from this date, if a guy is going to be boring and it's gonna feel very forced, then that guy is probably not for you. If the guy is not to pay for the first date, I would say run. And look, I know it's 2018 here and girls can pay too, because I definitely have offered to pay for my share of the dates, because there have been guys who have spent so much money on me, and I feel bad that they're spending that much money on me. Like, I want to be able to return that favor, and it's totally fine to return that favor. Like, I'm a firm believer in that the guy should at least pay for the first date, or at least buy the first round, and then the girl can certainly offer to do the second round. So you go to a bar, like a bar after your first place, you should go ahead and pay for that date. I've done that before, and hey, men do appreciate it when you do pay for them. Also, make sure that you thank the guy when he pays for your date. Always thank the guy. Men really do appreciate it when a woman is grateful and that it makes the guy feel like that they're not being taken advantage of for free alcohol. Talk about the third guy here. This guy, he had a very misleading picture on his profile. I thought he was cute in his picture. picture, but then when I met him in person, I just was not really attracted to him. There just was no romantic connection there with this guy. I felt more of a friendship connection with him. It seemed like he was into me and I wasn't, and I knew that this was a red flag and I needed to do something about it. I was just honest with him and just told him, like, listen, I just feel like we would be better as friends. I was like, alright, that's fine. We're different anyway. No, just a guy trying to be like, okay, like, I'm gonna pretend you didn't, like, hurt my feelings or anything. No big deal. I'm just gonna wipe it off my shoulder. Anything that I've learned, or what you should do in dating, is that if you are just simply not feeling it with a person, do not ghost them. Let them know. And it's okay to do it over a text message. Just don't ghost them. That is just such bad behavior, and it's toxic, and it makes people really insecure. I'm pretty sure this guy at least appreciated that I at least let him know, and I know I expect the same when a guy is not interested in me anymore, that he at least lets me know, and then I can move on with my life. Next guy, I actually met at a bar during Pride weekend, and if you don't remember my coffee date video, this is that guy that I was talking about. So yeah, we got coffee. Again, first date getting coffee. It was great. He paid. He was very nice. The problem was that I just didn't hear from him after again, and also I had mixed feelings about the guy. I wasn't sure if I really liked him or not. And I wish he hadn't just like fell off the face of the earth after that. But you know, it is what it is. What I learned from this guy is that when a guy meets you in a bar, he's excited about you, he tells you you're cute, and he wants to take you out. Guys just really like to live in the moment. I really like living in the moment too, and I haven't really done that. It's taken me a while to realize that I just need to live in the moment with no expectations, and I will talk about that in just a little bit because I'm almost getting there. And I think it's just important that what I realize with guys is that they might actually mean what they're saying, but that's only because guys like to live in the moment. And when a guy feels like he's being scared away from a relationship, whatever, he's just gonna run away. But usually they do mean what they say, but that's only because they're living in that moment. So he thought I was really cute, he wanted to take me out, he was living in the moment, he wanted to see where it would go, and then he realized, oh, not for me. It's okay, I wasn't reactive about it, and I moved on with my life. So guy number 5, let's just say that I saw this guy a total of 2 times. He was absolutely wonderful. Conversation flowed and everything, he was so nice. What was great is that even though he told me he was going to be traveling and he was gonna be gone for 2 weeks, he said he would see me when I got back, and I'm just thinking, yeah right, you're gonna forget about me by then. But he literally stuck to his word, and that was really awesome. So after our second date, you know, he texted me, and okay, it was a few days after our second date, he texted me saying that we would be better off as friends. So yes, he friend-zoned me, but it's okay because I never, like, nothing even happened with me and this guy. Like, I didn't even kiss him, so like, it wasn't very hurtful with the way he did it. It was actually very, very respectable that he initiated this himself. That I didn't even have to like tell him like, hey, like, if this isn't working, let me know. He just did that on his own. So any guy who is going to immediately let you know whether you're not for him, he's a good guy. Just respect that. Respect that he respects your time and that he didn't want to waste it. He said he didn't think it was going to be fair to get in a relationship when he was going to be gone all the time. And I'm like, you're right. It's not fair to do that to someone, and I appreciate you for letting me know that. Sometimes it's just not always going to be there for a guy, and that's going to be okay. A guy is allowed to not show interest in you. And also, like, if a guy says he's going to travel too much, you really need to think long and hard if you want to move forward with him, because you may set yourself up for disappointment because you're never gonna spend time with him. And then when you never spend time with him, you're gonna get needy and you're gonna get insecure, and guys don't wanna see that. End it there, and you won't be hurt and you won't feel needy or insecure. Okay, so let's talk about the 6th guy here. This was a guy that actually works with my sister. You know, he was very nice. I had a lot of fun with him. I was also on contest prep when I was dating this guy. Like, I was a few weeks out from my show, and let me tell you, when you are on contest prep, your sex drive is non-existent. Literally, the thought of like even kissing a guy that even sounded really exhausting. Oh my god. So I remember like I went back to his place because literally it was freezing cold that night, and I really wanted to figure out how I was getting home because I barely had any money to take an Uber home. Like, that's how sad it was. And I wanted to figure out if there was a bus nearby to where I could take the bus back home at like, you know, 2 in the morning. And so as like I'm on a sofa just trying to figure out how I wanted to get home because I didn't want to spend the night. It was like the first date. Like I didn't want to move things that quickly. And he starts stroking my knee. I'm just like, I him like, you know, I didn't want to do that. And oh my gosh, he looked like he had seen a ghost. And he was just like, okay. I felt really bad because he probably felt extremely rejected, and I honestly like wasn't trying to reject him. I just was like, slow down. Needless to say, I did not see him again after that. What did I learn from this date? If there's one huge thing that I've learned is that do not go on dates when you are on contest prep. What sucks about like going on dates when you're on prep is that you really have limited options when it comes to restaurants, and you really can't do dinner dates or grab food after you have a couple of drinks. And yet alone, you can't really have drinks to begin with. Don't go on dates when you're on prep because you don't have like any sex drive. You're gonna have a bad time. It's not gonna be fun for you or for your date. And you're just better off just waiting until your contest is over so you can gain that momentum again and feel so much better and have a lot more energy to want to be sexually intimate with someone. Also, another thing is if a guy gets drunk on the first date, do not do anything with him. There's nothing worse than taking advantage of someone when they're intoxicated and they don't have as much control over themselves. And he got drunk on that date and I was pretty sober, and it just was not going to be fair for me to put myself in that situation. So that was another reason to why I backed off. Okay, let's talk about the next guy really quick. So this guy was super nice, and we went out for wine and cheese, which were like the two things that I could have on prep, because again, I was still on prep when I went out with this guy, and it was literally 1 week out of my show. I was in the prime of prep, and basically my emotions were high. I was going into peak week. I was on a very strict diet, like I was doing keto, so my options were very limited when it came to food. This is my fault because I ruined this perfectly good date with this guy by being so negative, constantly complaining about my life. I did not have anything positive to say, so that one is on me. And this guy was just really nice enough to just like look past that, even though he's probably thinking like, oh my god, this girl's so negative, I can't wait for this date to end. I just felt really bad because I definitely was not my true self on this date. He was a very nice guy, but you know what, I don't blame him that I never heard back from him after this date. So what did I learn? Do not be negative when you go on dates. Always stay positive. You can certainly mention like one thing that you're not too happy with going on in your life, but don't make it seem like your life sucks and you're so unhappy with it, because that is going to turn guys off. And I certainly did a very good job of doing that night. Okay, so let's just talk about the last person and my latest situation, because this is where my whole perspective of dating completely changed. This guy was very nice, treated me very well, exactly like how I wanted to be treated by a guy. Like, I was very blown away by him. There were a few problems, like he wasn't a really good kisser. He said I love you on the first date. It was just really freaking weird. And so that was already the first red flag with that. And then the third time I saw him, I noticed like a slight detachment from him, and I was just kind of like, okay, like I can tell he's already starting to lose interest. We were very similar and he was very nice to me, but there were some quirks and kicks that I didn't like. Another thing that happened when I started seeing this guy is we had talked about intentions of what we wanted. You know, I told him, you know, I'm looking more for a relationship, and he had told me that too. And then eventually we ended it because he thought that I wanted something serious, and I was really confused by that. So what did I learn? Make your intentions clear with somebody when you first start going out with them. It will save you heartache, and you will know whether or not you're wasting your time with this person or not. But always be cautious. Even if that person says like, oh, they do want a relationship, you still need to have zero expectations, because just because that person also wants a relationship doesn't necessarily mean that that person's gonna be good for you, right? Am I right? So that was something that was really huge for me, and I'm glad that I was able to kind of see through that, because you should never ever settle for someone. And I wasn't gonna settle because I still need to see like, oh, where would this go? And it was really important that I kept trying to continue to see what would happen with this guy. But I'm glad, like, you know, my eyes were wide open, crystal clear that this guy was not right for me. It's also important to not rush things. And I felt like things were being really rushed with this guy, and that was also making me feel a little like cautious and making me feel guarded. So don't rush things. It's okay to take things slow. You need to tell people that. Otherwise, it's gonna lead to a not so good time. Always have zero expectations when you go in with someone new. And it's important to not be reactive when someone tells you that it's not working out. You just need to take things with a grain of salt and just stay calm and level-headed, because guys don't like it when you get insecure, when you get needy. And I did my best to not like try and be needy and clingy, but you just want to have zero expectations. Basically, like the whole breakdown and summary of everything that I learned, and I hope that this is something that you can take into consideration when you start going on new dates, because this isn't just for like dating in San Francisco. This can literally be applied anywhere in life, but this is something that I picked up on from dating the guys in San Francisco based on what I experienced, what dating is like in San Francisco, and then seeing like what it's like with each individual guy, because every guy is different. I wanted to see how accurate it would be to every guy, and there were some accuracies and then there were some things that were a little off, and there are guys who aren't always committed to their jobs. But it was probably something that maybe I did that is what made him no longer be interested. Just live in the moment and have fun and just see where it goes. Dating in San Francisco, it's rough. And I know there are people out there who do want relationships. And I can promise you, despite everything that I said, there are so many guys in San Francisco that do want relationships. You just have to stay patient and just go with the flow to see where it will go and to not be reactive, because that will help you out in the long run. A relationship will come to you when life tells you that it's ready for you. And I've just learned to accept that, and you just need to be comfortable with just being yourself and being single, because if you're never comfortable with just being single, if you're never comfortable with your life and you don't love yourself, how is somebody else supposed to love you? So just remember that it's really important, because when you love yourself and you are always being happy and positive and showing that you are happy and comfortable with your life, it will really show, especially on guys, and they're gonna love that, and they're gonna find that to be the sexiest thing in the world. Get out there and love yourself and be the best that you can be, because I promise you it will pay off. Alright guys, well that's really all I have, and I hope you learned a lot, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!